Hello, everybody. Jean-Pierre Bill, rambling and gambling and prancing and dancing, looks at Abita Light. 4% ABV, probably as light as many light beers. This is one of the signature beers Abita Brewery down in Abita Springs, Louisiana, tends to sample. It's one of their more popular or as flagship beers. You got this one. You have of course, the Amber. You got the Giacomo IPA. You got the Turbo Dog, the Wrought Iron IPA. This is one of their Purple Haze, of course, and the Andy Gator, which is a very good beer if you get that. This is one of their signature beers, 4% ABV, a light lager. That gets a 72 score on Beer Advocate. The Bros haven't scored it. So um, let's take a look at the beer color right over here. As you can see, quite light, very refreshing. A bit cloudy if you look at it a little closely, but still good enough. The scent, it's a little grassiness, a little to it. Malty, but it has a little sense of just kind of more it has a very Euro smell to it, which is kind of odd for an American beer. When most Europe lagers tend to be more has that sort of grassy, or more punch to the beers, and even though the ABV could be low, but it feels like you're drinking more out of it, more alcohol's in it. But that's how they brew their beers. That's just according to me. So has that little no lacing whatsoever. So I'll go with the taste. Pretty good. And nothing really special. I mean, it's a light lager. I mean, uh, with all the malt lager brewed with Pilsner and Carpil malts and Vanguard hops, it is the smoothest and most flavorful light beer you'll ever taste. Crisp and refreshing with a mild hop aroma, has only 118 calories and 8 carbs. Pretty light compared to most light lagers. As we all know, the history of light beers or light lagers, if you will, this really began in the mid 70s, 75. I think Miller Lite was the first to put out their beer until, excuse me, people were looking. Of course, as the whole health movement really began, people were looking to find something, wanted to enjoy the taste of beer without all the heaviness to it, where the alcohol was maybe lowered and they had the taste, but it was more healthier for you, I guess. Diet beer. Of course, Miller Lite came out, and then you had Natural Light in 1977 by Anheuser-Busch. Then Schlitz, a light beer as well, Schlitz Light. You may remember James Coburn. Watched some of their videos on YouTube. He put out a light lager. Um, with those guys, then Natural Light, and then Miller Lite really began to take shape with a lot of their commercials. You began to see all the football players and athletes, taste great, less filling, taste great, less filling. Football, sports stars, comedians and whatnot. As we get into the 80s, you had um, Budweiser and Budweiser Light. Then they shortened it to Budweiser to now Bud Light, 1982. Um, and so on and so on. So many of the breweries began to put out a lot more lighter beers. Old Milwaukee, of course, Old Milwaukee Light, Bush Light in 1989 that came on the scene. Keystone Light, of course, you have premium Keystone, but Keystone Light now was probably more considered the signature beer in the Keystone line. You know, that and Keystone Ice, but Keystone Light more well known. Um, and so on and so forth. So Abita, of course, like with the brewery, has had a light version of their beer, and again, it serves a purpose. You know, if you're eating what I'm eating right now, I've got a bag of some potato chips right now. I'm nibbling on some nachos chips. Is going good with this beer, and that's what the beer is really for. It's you want that taste. I mean, we have a feeling that tastes of good beer, all the heavy calories and carbs that's involved. And if you look at the top 20 list of beers sold in the United States, majority of them are all, I think maybe 10, maybe 11 of the 20 beers. I would say, yeah, 8 or 9 of, take that at 10. 8 or 9 of the of the top 20 beers being sold in America are all light beers. Michelob Ultra, which is about the same ABV as this Abita here. This Abita I'm reviewing right now has 4% ABV, and Michelob Ultra, which is done quite well in the Michelob line. I mean, it's even outpaced Michelob Light and the lager by miles. That's very light, but again, the image of healthy, being healthy. I love a good beer, but I don't want to have that beer gut or beer belly. I'm in that lifestyle, physical activity. I'm running, I'm jogging, I'm playing sports. After work, I want to meet up with my friends, and bam, let's have a light beer. So, um, with me, I've never had any negative against light beer. I think they're good. I think they're quite refreshing taste, particularly as we're now heading into the spring season and going into summer. I mean, these are going to be the beers that we're all going to consume. That time of year where things are, you're doing a lot of outside work, yard work. You're doing a lot of, clean, yard work, doing your grass, whatever, cleaning up. And you want something refreshing, something easy and tasty, and something that's going to give you a lot of, pop, a lot of kick. And this is the beer for you. And it serves a purpose. Chips, food pairing, like I said, chips and chips and dip, barbecue, nachos, tacos, um, you know, eating some potato skins or cheese sticks. This beer can go with any of that, even pizza. So, and for the flavor, I mean, it really is quite pleasant. It has, as I read the ingredients in here, it has that sort of Euro taste to it, which is amazing, and it's quite good. So, if I get this again, yeah, if I can, didn't pay much for the single bottle of it, maybe a couple of bucks, $1, whatever, 49 at Rouse's, but me, I'm a cheapskate, or as my significant other likes to call me, El Cheapo, or a cheap hoe, a cheap whore. That didn't sound good saying that. Oh well. But I think of, uh, I think there are other beers out there that, for the price, I think I are a lot better. that costs less, than this. I'm sure the six pack of this is maybe, and because of the name and this, I would say maybe 11. No, I would say 7 or 8.99. I don't know if they have it in 12 packs. They probably do. Six packs definitely, but I would say there are other beers that I could get more bang for the buck that taste just as good, if not better, than this. Bush Light comes to mind. Of course, it's very carbonated. Bush Light, Michelob, Bush Light, Keystone Light, Old Milwaukee Light, Milwaukee's Best Light. I think those beers are just as good and won't cost as much. Not just from a six pack, but all the way to a 20, 24 pack or a 30 pack. Here in our state, we want to get a 24 pack, but they could get the same flavor, same taste, and it's probably better. Easy drinking. I tend to consume those three that I mentioned more than something like this, but nothing against this beer. I think is good. I'm gonna give this beer. I'll give this beer an. I'll give this beer an 8. I think that's about fair. Oh, okay. I agree with Beer Advocate. It's an okay light lager. Nothing great, nothing spectacular about it. So, tell me what you think about Abita. If you've had this before, you like it, comments on the bottom. I am 8 seems reasonable for me. So, join us up here at the Beer Rambling Gambling. Tell you to keep watching, and as always, cheers.